Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, TheRumpledOne, coming to you on Friday, June the 14th. The year is 2024. Let's talk trading. Weekly wrap-up with Walmal. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine and different from Walmal. So let's take a quick look here at the weekly. Okay, we've got some gaps that have not filled in some of the euro pairs. So that's something to note. And we can see that the pound 68 pips below the weekly open, 201 off the high and 2 off the low. And traders, in about 6 minutes or so, we've got some red news coming out, so might get to have some fun watching the action. Notice we have broken below the opening range for the month, the opening range for the week, and we are within the opening range for the year, which has a low of 126.10 and a high of 127.60. And if we zoom out to the month, we're 72 pips below the monthly open, 200 off the high, 3 off the low. So we're now making monthly lows. And as far as inside bar traders go, we broke through the bottom of the inside bar from yesterday. We're 78 pips below that level, which is 127.38. And we are just now inside the inside bar range from the weekly inside bar from 11 weeks ago. And that high is 126.68 with a low of 125.85. And just so you know, for the monthly inside bar, the low is 126.40, and we're 19 pips above it. And there's lots of inside bar action on the dashboard. So far today, we have moved 107 pips of range, and with the range leader is the beast, the pound yen at 269. And as buy zone traders, buy never triggered. We had a couple of short triggers. We crossed the weekly open at 127.27, and we haven't looked back. I would say green rats, get ready. We are definitely in the green rat zone. Red rats never had a chance to feast simply because there wasn't enough range at the time. Looking at the pivot trading plan, Bambino Flex indicator said short. Price near the pivot was short, and price looks like it missed a pivot at 127.69, and price is continuing to go down. Monthly pivot has been hit. Weekly pivot has been hit. Daily pivot was not hit. Now let's see, 2 days ago we took out a missed pivot. So now we're putting in another missed pivot. So I believe we had 3 missed pivots, daily missed pivots in May. Now we only have 2 left. And if you look here at the wick zone, the daily wick zone, you can see we broke through the previous day's low at 127.38 and have not looked back. For the week, 204 pips of range so far, and that's probably going to could increase with that red news, and that puts us at the 75 percentile for the last 12 weeks. High minus previous high, 43 pips, so we broke out of the high. Low minus previous low minus the low is 38 pips, so this week is an outside bar. High minus the close, 200, close minus the low, 3. And for you weekly open crossover traders, high minus open 133, open minus low 70. So there's money to be made trading those horizontal lines. Walmal, how's your trading going today?
A core. That's the most important thing. And I also went and made some additional pips by, taking one of my better moves was I traded off the brand new H4 that occurred this hour, and just trading away from that line. It's I know it sounds ridiculous, but it was just that simple. I had an H4 that opened up, and it ran up in one particular direction, ran in the upward direction, and I took the trade to the north and picked up never ending pips, 3-4 pips, put a tail in there, and said, I want to get out of here because It's just something that I've noticed in the past. When you have a brand new hourly candle, it likes to go one direction for a few minutes, and then it comes back and runs the other way.
Hourly or H4?
Both of them.
Okay.
They both do it. And so just pick up a few pips and then wait for a setup to go the other way. Got myself another another crossover, the H4 to the south, and it happened on a flip-flop box, and it went below the indicator 2, so the EMA 5, if you want to call it that, and I just went and took it and I wrote it. And picked up a bunch of pips on that trade. So, it's simple setups, nothing spectacular, no lines and squigglies all over the screen to the point where you can't even see price anymore. Just simple, draw a line in the sand, and take the trade. And if you win, you win. If you lose, okay.
Okay, so there's less than a minute before the news. You have a bias, or are you going to wait?
I've said this before. I never have a bias going into the news. My bias gets developed as the news drops because it's the type of thing where it's just too many surprises. So I like to go in, watch what it does, and make my trades based on what the news actually causes the market to do. So I'm reactionary as opposed to trying to guess what's going to happen. I'm not a prophet.
Yeah. Well, I think if it runs up to 26.75, it'll reverse down there. If it hits down to 26.25, it'll reverse. That's my prediction. Okay, here we go. The news is dropping. Let's see what it does. Switch over to the 1 minute candle. Not much is happening so far.
The FOREX Factory hasn't released the news yet. Let me go over to Bloomberg. Okay, Bloomberg has released that the consumer sentiment came at 65.6. That is a big decrease. So this thing should run up, you would think, based on what the news is. Remember, at 100, that means that half as many people like what's going on in the economy and half don't. And so it's 65.6. A large percentage of the American public does not like the direction of the economy.
Well, they must not be listening to what the politicians, or at least what some politicians are telling us.
The politicians are in office saying everything's great. Politicians trying to get in office, they're saying everything stinks.
Yeah, it sure does.
That's the way it works. But in any case, didn't really move it.
Yeah, this is a nothing burger. So much for red news.
Yep. And it's funny, we had that other red news this week that normally doesn't move the market at all, and it exploded the market. It just shows you that, that's why I don't like to go and look at a bias prior to the market, because you just don't know what it's going to go and do. And the thing is, this thing still may explode, and the reason why I say that is because sometimes you'll get red news and people just don't react. And then all of a sudden, 15, 20 minutes later, you get some type of big, huge movement off of, and the movement came off of the news. It's just that a lot of people sat on the sidelines and waited. And
Right.
then all of a sudden, something else happens, or somebody reads further into the report. Remember, we're looking at it on FOREX Factory. We're looking at a number, and that's all we're looking at. The thing is, that number has got an entire report that comes out with it. And so somebody finally goes and reads the report, and 5-6 pages in, and then they say, "Oh my," that number is there, and it's not based on whatever, and so they react to that. That's why in these big trading rooms, you have all the guys on the floor, and then you got the guys in the back room doing nothing more than reading the reports, the analysts.
Right. And you can't really trust them, can you?
Well, you can trust that they're giving the right news. It's just that what gets then portended out to the actual traders, that's what you can't trust.
Yeah.
But we're stuck in this range here right now. If we need to go, if the thing's going to go lower, it's got to go and break the 2657 area.
Right.
So, which is kind of in lines with what you were saying earlier. It looks like it wants to go and do that, but it's not going to. I don't think it's going to do it. It just it's starting to draw a line in the sand, or our bears are basically. Our bulls are drawing the line in the sand here and saying, "No, you don't. You're not going there."
Right.
But you never know.
Nope, you never know.
Bears can be just as ferocious as bulls.
Sometimes more.
Sometimes more, exactly. But one of the things I wanted to point out as you go through your weekly wrap up, this week we had 2 weeks over 100 pips on the pound dollar. I can't remember that happening in a long time. And the other thing that's kind of interesting, yesterday we had 69 pips, but all the other days this week were like in the 40s. And it's sort of like, that is really strange. That is strange market movement where we're getting days, lots of days in the 40s, and then there are other days in the hundreds. That may not be strange for other markets or other instruments, but that's very strange for the pound dollar. So it just again adds to what I've been saying over the last, I'd say weeks, but probably now months, where the market's just not moving the way it used to. We're in a new paradigm, so to speak. I don't know what this paradigm is. That's what I'm trying to figure out for myself. But we're certainly in a new paradigm. The market's moving differently than it has in the past, and that doesn't worry me. It actually just opens my mind to say, okay, we're in a new paradigm. That means there's new opportunities out there that we can take advantage of. The thing is, we got to sit down and do some homework and see if we can figure out what's going. Not necessarily not why something's going on, because that doesn't matter. But what's going on, so we can go and match a strategy to go and take advantage.
Right.
I don't care. It's sort of like, I bring my car into the auto mechanic. I don't care why the car doesn't work. I care that the mechanic's able to fix it.
Exactly.
That's what matters.
Right.
We're not going anywhere with this market, with this current movement. I don't think.
No, I don't see it happening either.
Yeah, I think it's going to probably drift back up to the 2675 area, because that big move down from last hour, that'll put us at the midpoint roughly of it, and it'll give us, opportunity for the market to go and settle in. I think it's, got to remember it's it's a Friday, and we're moving into the summertime here. Officially in the U.S., we're in the summertime months because we're after Labor Day.
Mm-hmm.
So it's sort of like traders are probably going home early. I know I'm going home early.
Yeah, I'm thinking there. I'm looking at this M30 return bar 2 has an open of 126.90. So I'm thinking price needs to cover that bar. And then another stop would be bar 4. It's has an open of 127.03.
I went long at 26.66.
Just now?
We'll see. Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like we need to get some coverage on these bars. But you know what, fellow traders? The fastest 15 minutes in trading is almost over. Just quickly, we have not extended the year-to-date accumulated range, so we're still within it. So I hope you're having a profitable day, week, month, year so far, and career for that matter. And I'm going to wish you all a fun and safe weekend. Be careful out there. There's too many crazies. So always remember and never forget, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is the Rumpled One, over and out.